In this overview, we will just be going over the Missing Expedition expansion. We will not be going over the base game or the Expedition Leaders expansion. If you want to see overviews for those, follow the links in the description. The Missing Expedition expansion adds more cards, tiles, research boards, and characters to the game, and also adds a solo or two-player co-op campaign to the game. Note that you are able to just take all the new stuff, shuffle it into the main game, and play Arnak normally instead of the campaign. But in the campaign you won't do this, you will unlock the new content gradually. Speaking of, let's get into the campaign. The campaign can be played solo or with two players playing cooperatively. In both instances, you'll be using the solo rules, which we'll go over briefly, but if you want a full teach of them, follow the link down in the description. The campaign is 6 scenarios long, and each one will have a different goal, achievements, and rivals. Each session also has its own encounter cards. When you gain an encounter card, you will turn it over and then immediately gain the option on the left, or you'll wait and gain the option on the right at a later time. Every session also has a specific goal and achievements that you're going for. If you do not complete the goal, you lose that session. You have to either play it again or continue on with a penalty. The achievements and encounter cards will give you story symbols which you will cross off on your campaign sheet. When you reach these stars, you will have unlocked a plot point, and you will read that excerpt in the campaign book and you will gain a new card. In a two-player game, you will each have a carrier pigeon, which allows you to send over one resource per round for free, but that pigeon stays there until they send one back. The expansion also comes with 2 new characters to play with. The journalists may always have their notebook one space ahead of their magnifying glass, and they will be writing articles that are around the board, and then they will be publishing them by putting them onto their board. This gains you instant or main actions to do. The mechanic has the machine, which has silver widgets on it, and throughout the game you will be getting to add gold ones as well. Whenever you see this symbol, you will turn the machine 90 degrees and activate one of the widgets on the right, either silver or gold depending on the action. They also have a monkey friend that you get to gain at the beginning of round 3. This means that you also have spaces for 3 assistants, one of which will always be Rusty the monkey. As stated, each scenario will have a different way of setting up the board and different rules and goals. For instance, the first scenario requires you to reach the guardians on the research track and defeat them. But there's this fog tile in the way, and you can't research past the fog because, well, you don't know what's above it. Whenever you discover a site, you may use boots to advance the fog. Okay, so that's all the new stuff in the expansion, and since you're technically using the solo rules during this campaign game, let's quickly talk about the solo game. In the solo game of Lost Ruins of Arnak, you will always have a rival, and in this expansion, they're always red. Your game remains the same, but during their turn, they will flip over one of their action tiles and take the depicted action. Many times, there may be multiple options on the board that they can choose from, like this tile that says for them to take an item card. These ties are always broken by whatever way the arrow on the next action tile is facing, in this case to the left. 5 of these tiles will cause them to take a worker placement spot showing the depicted resource, and they will always choose the highest available site with that resource. The other tiles may cause them to discover a new site, overcome a guardian, move their research marker up and remove an assistant, gain an artifact, or gain an item. Throughout the game, they will be gaining idols, guardians, and cards, and these will gain them points just like they do for you. They will not pass in a round until they go through all 10 of their action tiles. At the end of the game, you compare scores, and if you have a higher score than the rival, you win. And that is a quick look at the Missing Expedition expansion.